In the chilling confines of Penumbra Penitentiary, a world of despair and darkness unfolds. This is no ordinary prison. It's a place where the walls whisper tales of dread, where secrets seep into the cold stone floors. It's a world that has been home to our protagonist, Jake Donovan, for the better part of a decade. Jake, a man of integrity and grit, found himself in these grim surroundings not by choice, but by a twist of fate. Wrongfully convicted of a crime he did not commit, he's been locked away, his pleas of innocence falling on deaf ears. His once vibrant spirit is now a flicker, his hope of redemption slowly fading into the oblivion of despair. The Penumbra Penitentiary, a fortress of gloom, is steeped in the misery of its inmates. Its decrepit corridors echo with the hollow sounds of lost freedom. Its dimly lit cells witness to countless stories of despair. And yet, amidst this bleakness, Jake has clung to a sliver of hope, a stubborn belief in his innocence, and a burning desire to prove it. Day after day he's haunted by the injustice of his situation, the truth of his innocence buried beneath layers of deception and corruption. His dreams are fraught with visions of a life beyond these walls, a life stolen from him. Yet he wakes each morning to the harsh reality of his existence, the cold, hard truth that he is a prisoner in the depths of despair. As the days turn into weeks and weeks into months, the weight of his plight threatens to crush him. His strength wanes, his resolve tested in ways he never thought possible. The world outside seems a distant memory, a cruel reminder of what once was and what could have been. Just when hope seemed lost, a cryptic letter arrived, promising a chance at redemption. A glimmer of light in the pervasive darkness, a whisper of hope in the deafening silence. This letter, a lifeline thrown in the depths of despair, could be the key to Jake's freedom or the final nail in his coffin. Only time will tell. Intrigue and desperation led Jake to the heart of the prison, where he met the enigmatic Whisperer. A figure of mystery, the Whisperer was a man of many shadows, his face concealed by a worn-out hood, and his voice a mere whisper that echoed through the cold stone walls of Penumbra. The Whisperer was no ordinary inmate. He was a keeper of secrets, a man who knew the prison's darkest corners better than anyone. He was the key to the truth, the one who held the power to shatter the chains of Jake's wrongful conviction. But his knowledge came with a price. The Whisperer's proposition was simple and chilling. He offered to unravel the mystery of Jake's case and reveal the truth that could set him free. But in return, he asked for Jake's assistance in solving a string of unsolved murders that had haunted the penitentiary for years. These were no ordinary slayings. Each was a puzzle, a riddle wrapped in enigma, a mystery shrouded in the prison's darkest shadows. There were no apparent motives, no discernible patterns, and no clues left behind. Only the Whisperer understood their significance, and he needed Jake's help to piece together the chilling puzzle. Jake was torn. He yearned for the truth, the redemption he so desperately sought. But the Whisperer's deal was a gamble, a pact with an unknown entity, a plunge into an abyss of secrets and lies. He knew that agreeing to the Whisperer's terms would pull him deeper into the prison's underbelly, into a world where guilt and innocence blurred, where the line between friend and foe was indistinguishable. But the promise of redemption was too strong, the hope of freedom too compelling. And so, with a heavy heart, Jake agreed to the Whisperer's terms. He chose to delve into the unsolved mysteries, to challenge the shadows that lurked in the corners of Penumbra Penitentiary. And so a pact was made, plunging Jake into a world of shadows and secrets. Together, they delved into the heart of darkness, where corruption and vendettas ran deep. Jake Donovan and the Whisperer, two unlikely allies, began to pull at the threads of deception that shrouded the Penumbra Penitentiary. Their quest for the truth was not a straightforward path, but a labyrinth of lies and betrayal that wound its way through the prison's chilling history. With each step they took, the duo uncovered layers of corruption that permeated the prison. From the guards who turned a blind eye to the inmates' nefarious deeds, to the warden who held power with an iron fist, the rot ran deeper than they could have imagined. In the midst of this darkness, they found glimpses of humanity. Prisoners who had been wronged, their pleas for justice silenced by the oppressive regime. Their stories echoed Jake's own, a stark reminder of the price of truth in a world that thrived on deceit. As they navigated this twisted maze, Jake and the Whisperer began to piece together the puzzle. The unsolved murders, the cryptic letter, the shadowy figure who knew too much, they were all part of a much larger scheme. A scheme that was designed to keep the truth buried and the innocent condemned. Their exploration was not without danger. Each revelation was like poking a hornet's nest, stirring up the wrath of those who had much to lose. But Jake was driven by the hope of redemption, and the Whisperer by a desire to expose the truth. They knew that backing down was not an option, and so they pressed on, fueled by a shared determination. With every secret they unearthed, they came one step closer to the truth. But as they ventured deeper into the web of deceit, they found themselves entangled in its sticky threads. Each revelation brought them closer to the truth, yet further into the depths of Penumbra. As they delved deeper into the heart of the prison, they realized that the shadows of redemption were not only in the corners of the Penumbra Penitentiary, but also hidden within the souls of its inhabitants. As the clock ticked, Jake found himself in a desperate race against time. The chilling corridors of Penumbra Penitentiary echoed with the urgency of his mission. Jake and the Whisperer, bound by a pact of truth and redemption, hurriedly pieced together the cryptic clues that held the answer to the unsolved murders and Jake's freedom. The rhythm of their pursuit became a heartbeat, growing faster and louder as more secrets were unearthed. The unsettling truth was that the prison's walls housed not just criminals, but victims too, ensnared in a web of corruption that reached far beyond the heavy iron gates of the penitentiary. Jake's alliance with the Whisperer was tested as they delved deeper into the maze of deception. The Whisperer, the enigma he was, seemed to hold as many secrets as he revealed. Doubts began to creep into Jake's mind. Was the Whisperer a friend or a foe? Yet the hope of redemption kept him going, driving him to trust the man who might hold the key to his freedom. As they raced against the ticking clock, the line between guilt and innocence started to blur. Jake began to question everything he knew, everything he believed about himself and the people around him. The faces of the prison, once clearly divided into victims and perpetrators, merged into a grey mass of ambiguity. The shadows of the penitentiary seemed to mock his frantic search for truth, whispering that redemption was a mirage in the desert of despair. But Jake pressed on, fueled by a desperate hope and a burning desire for justice. He knew that every second counted, that every moment brought him closer to the truth or further into the abyss. The race against time was not just about his freedom anymore. It was about unmasking the face of corruption, about bringing justice to the victims, about retribution. With every passing second, redemption seemed both closer and yet more elusive. The final act was about to unfold, and Jake knew that the shadows of redemption were waiting, biding their time in the darkest corners of the Penumbra Penitentiary. In the chilling climax, the truth was finally unveiled. As Jake and the Whisperer stood in the heart of the Penumbra Penitentiary, the walls echoing with the ghosts of past injustices, they found themselves at the epicenter of a shocking revelation. The web of deception, once complex and impenetrable, had been untangled. The truth, as chilling as the cold stone surrounding them, sent a shiver down their spines. The unsolved murders, the corruption, the personal vendettas, all traced back to an unexpected source. The truth was a testament to the depths of human deceit, a stark reminder of the lengths some would go to maintain power and control. Jake, the innocent man trapped in a world of guilt, finally saw the light of truth. His name was cleared, his innocence proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. But the truth came with a price. The revelation shook him to his core, forcing him to confront the reality of the world he had been thrust into. A world where justice was a game, played by those who held the power. The Whisperer, the enigmatic figure who had guided Jake through the darkness, found his redemption in the truth. He had been a man shrouded in mystery, a figure feared and respected in equal measure. But in their pursuit of the truth, the Whisperer had revealed his true self, a man seeking redemption from the shadows of his past. The journey had tested their alliance, pushed them to their limits. But in the end, they stood victorious, not over the men who had wronged them, but over the shadows of their past. They had found redemption in the darkest corners of Penumbra Penitentiary, a redemption forged in the fires of truth and justice. In the shadows of Penumbra Penitentiary, redemption was found, but at a chilling cost.